It's known as Fireworks Night, and for boxing fans, November the 5th, 1989 saw plenty of explosive action as the venerable Royal Albert Hall staged a night of championship boxing. Azumah Nelson, one of the great featherweights of the decade, now campaigning at Super Feather and taking on the pride of North London, Jim McDonnell. One of the most popular fighters ever to grace a British ring, McDonnell was considered a huge underdog against an opponent of proven world class. McDonnell had won the European title in 1985, only to relinquish it a year later in pursuit of the world crown. The long wait over, he was ready for the fight of his life. Match commentators are Harold Graham and David Brenner.
Presenting and introducing to you in the blue corner, with the dark shorts, with big twins from 27 contests, 12 inside the distance, the challenger for a title from Camden in London, London Town Zone, Jim McDonnell. And his opponent in the red corner, with the leopard skin shorts, with 30 wins from 31 contests, 22 inside the distance, defending his title from Ghana, the WBC Super Featherweight Champion of the world, Azumah Nelson!
Nelson, loving every moment of it. Ever a showman. Quick word about the officials. Referee Joe Cortez from America. Two American judges, Tony Costello and Tom Kashmarek, and a Swiss judge as well, Franz Marti. Now the referee in this title fight will not score. Scoring left to the three ringside judges. In the event of a knockdown, there is a mandatory 8 count. If there's a knockdown and the bell intervenes, the count will continue unless it is the last round. Here we go then, 12 rounds for the Super Featherweight Championship of the world. Jim McDonnell in the black trunks, Azumah Nelson in the leopard skin trunks. Round one. Now, I tell you, Nelson will try and finish this quickly. McDonnell has got to settle and show the sort of form he showed when he retired Barry McGuigan. McDonnell, guard held high. Because as we saw against Pat Cardell, this man can take you out with either hand. Ref says, McDonnell, keep him up. And the champion stalking his man, but McDonnell hooks him off. Well, he's got a reasonable chin, Jim McDonnell. He'd never been off his feet as a pro. He was knocked out in an ABA final once, ABA bantamweight final by Ray Gilbody. but never off his feet in the pro ranks. His one loss, McDonnell's, that world title defeat to the South African Brian Mitchell. Remember, Nelson was knocked out by Salvador Sanchez, but that was 7 years ago. Since then, undefeated. McDonnell doesn't want to get involved in the war. That's the end of the first round. Nelson grins. McDonnell has survived the first hurdle. Well, he looked confident, Jim McDonnell.
Very confident. Yeah, so far so good. He's been doing the right things, the right tactics, just jabbing and moving, getting out of the way. When he's holding inside, he holds on to him so he can't work, which is a good thing to do. Then he slips the punch in and gets away, which is just right. He's doing right.
Well, Azumah Nelson's record speaks for itself, doesn't it? 31 fights, 30 wins. This is his 19th title fight, both World, All-African, Commonwealth tonight. 18th title fight. He's won 17 of them, 14 inside the distance. Jim McDonnell's record is nothing to be ashamed of either. 27 fights, 26 wins, and like Azumah Nelson, his only defeat in a world title fight. I scored that first round pretty even. This is the second. And one thing worth noticing about Jim McDonnell, although he fights in an orthodox left hand, left foot forward style, he is in fact left-handed. So his left hand, the stronger hand, and I tell you, when he jabs you, when he hooks you with his leading hand, that hurts. Referee Cortez says, watch your heads. Well, McDonnell certainly not overawed by Nelson's reputation so far. But remember, in his last title defense against Mario Martinez in Las Vegas on the Bruno Tyson undercard, Nelson won in the 12th and last round with a knockout. He's that dangerous. But Nelson getting in some good shots to the body. Harold, body shots, the way to slow your opponent down.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's trying to slow him down, but it's not working at the moment. There's plenty of time to go, though. Doing the right thing. Both of them working inside now, which for Jim is the wrong thing to do. He should be on the jab now.
You could almost see that the sigh of relief at the end of the first, that release of tension that he got through it.
Yeah, you could. Well, you can see now on his face, he's trying. I think he's enjoying it now. He's got into a good rhythm already. He's working a lot inside though, which is dangerous because the head work comes in then. Good shots there, see.
Well, I'll keep saying it, McDonnell does not want to get involved in a slugging match here. He's not a regarded knockout specialist. He's stopped opponents, sure, but he's not a one-punch specialist like Azumah Nelson is. But he's fighting with a lot of heart. Champion digs in the left. McDonnell covers up. McDonnell might be throwing a lot of leather, but you've got to remember that Nelson taking a lot of these shots on his gloves. They do not score. Heads getting dangerously close. End of the second.
Another good round there, I think.
Well, I think on work rate and the amount of punches that did get through, I'd shade that round for Jim McDonnell, Harold.
Yes, I would as well. Work rate definitely on his side. All Nelson was doing is chasing him, trying to pressure him, and the work and the shots were going in from Jim.
Well, what sort of advice do you reckon that Jim's getting from Darcy Smith in the corner right now?
Well, I think he's telling him to work inside because there's been a lot of inside work, whereas I myself would be better to do the jabbing and moving and letting him do the chasing, which would be easier as well.
Well, he's a very fit young man, Jim McDonnell. You just saw Charlie Magbury, former world flyweight champion. There he is, little Chaz. Well, round 3. And McDonnell comes out throwing a big left. Well, he's certainly not respecting Azumah Nelson's reputation at all, but the Ghanaian champion smiles serenely, tucks up and cuts loose. Well, Nelson with the guard held very high. That probably explains the body shot strategy, trying to get the champ, trying to bring the guard down. Well, I can tell you this is already 100% better than the Jim McDonnell we saw against Brian Mitchell a year ago. I guess that win against McGuigan must have given him an awful lot of confidence, Harold, to show he can do it at the highest level. Harold absorbed.
I am totally, absolutely totally. It's a good fight, a very good fight. I mean, Jim's given him just as much as he's given him. I wouldn't expect that.
I was saying that the confidence that Jim must have got by beating McGuigan, showing that he can do it at the very highest level.
Yeah, that's given him a lot of confidence, definitely. The way he's thrown in those shots, there's no respect for Nelson at all. None whatsoever.
Well,
good shot there.
That's good. It can be dangerous. But McDonnell boxing quite superbly at the moment. This really is a revelation. We hoped that he could turn it on like this. We knew he could. We knew he's a class boxer. But for the first time, Nelson comes in and McDonnell is forced to hold. And the champion cutting loose now. This is dangerous.
Definitely, it is dangerous. Oh, a good shot there. But he's fighting
well,
back.
That was the left hook that got Pat Cowdell. McDonnell shrugs it off. McDonnell using the ring well, tucking up well. And teeing off again at Azumah Nelson. This is a good round. What a good world championship this is turning out to be. And Nelson just nods at his corner man, Jose Martinez, as he comes back. There is the champion. Well, he gave it a go there, Harold.
It did, definitely. Earlier rounds, though, Jim was in front, definitely. And at the end of the round, Azumah came back, opened up well. So I think I share that round. It was a good shot there as well.
Well, that was the best shot that Azumah Nelson has thrown, and it made Jim McDonnell blink, but his legs didn't buckle, and he was in full control. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, he knew where he was, knew what he was doing, and like he fought back like a good champion would.
And once again, Jim McDonnell is showing that he is no respecter of reputations at all. The British press wrote him off, but he is fighting a mighty battle here. Nelson, grim-faced. He knows he's caught a live one tonight. This is the fourth. There have been no knockdowns just yet, and McDonnell perhaps fractionally ahead. I make no apologies for repeating it, but the confidence that Jim McDonnell is showing is an absolute eye-opener. We have talked about this fight, as you'll probably believe, privately when we've been doing our Screen Sport Pro Box commentaries, and he has exuded confidence throughout, and he's brought that confidence into the ring here at the Royal Albert Hall with him tonight. Boxing beautifully on the retreat, just sticking out that left jab, keeping the champ at bay. And making Azumah Nelson miss not once but twice. Well, the fight being conducted at a furious pace. McDonnell reckons he's fit enough to outlast Azumah Nelson. Could come to that if he goes on like this.
But it looks like Nelson's getting into his stride as well. Definitely does now. They're both opening up.
And Nelson taking time just to nod, to grin, to wink at the ringside judge on our side of the ring. The term great champion is bandied about too frequently, but this man truly is one of the great world champions at the moment. McDonnell tries the left uppercut, doesn't come off.
Must be getting through now, I think, because Jim's nose looks like it's starting to bleed. So slowly getting through.
And McDonnell trying to lead the champion. A dance around the ring. And Nelson just smiles at him. Serene, unruffled. So, into the fifth. Any little damage that there might have been around McDonnell's nose happily cleared up in the break. Angular featured. Happily, as yet, both men unmarked.
That was a good right hand which went over from Azumah Nelson there, and again it's starting to trouble him now though. So what it is, he's starting to fight, which he shouldn't be doing. He's got to move it. He's got to attack him again. He's got to move it now, because this is the dangerous side of him.
Well, we've said McDonnell has got a good chin, but it will be tested tonight. It's been tested once or twice already, and again. Well, you might possibly question his tactics, but you cannot question his bravery. A left hook, and he's down. The left hook, the one that accounted for Cowdell. Now he's got to survive, McDonnell. He's got to run. The nose is starting to bleed now, and he's shipping stick, McDonnell. But he's still persistent, taking the fight to Nelson. The champion pinned on the ropes, McDonnell. Hurt Nelson.
Oh, he's fighting back well. He's giving it all, really is.
The champion misses, McDonnell misses. They're right above us. McDonnell's defense looking a little bit leaky. But he came back and he did hurt the champion. There's no doubt about that. The crowd trying to lift McDonnell. Nelson coils like a black mamba, tees off again, and almost wrestles McDonnell through the ropes. 20 seconds. And suddenly, Nelson just looks a little bit ragged.
He's trying to stop him, and he's not composed enough to stop him. He's throwing any shots, while Jim is trying to fight back and fought back well.
Well, you feared for the worst there, Harold, but my goodness, he came through that all right.
Oh, it's a good shot, that, as well.
There's the knockdown, and that punch can't have travelled more than about 9 inches.
Definitely, it's a super punch there. But the best thing is that Jim is still there. He's walked back well from that brilliant shot.
The Nelson supporters celebrating, anticipating a victory, and they must have thought the victory was going to come in that 5th round. Bang! There it went. That was the shot that took Pat Cowdell out, and so nearly took Jim McDonnell out too. But all his composure in the challenger's corner. He's still there. He is still unmarked, apart from that little nosebleed. Round 6. Now, we'll see what sort of stamina the champion has got. As Harold so rightly said, Nelson tried to finish it in that round, but he couldn't find the final shot. Now this is what Jim McDonnell should be doing, making Nelson come to him, just spoiling. There's something implacable about the way Azumah Nelson keeps walking forward, walking through McDonnell's jabs, looking for the big bombs. Well, Nelson content to let McDonnell score while he looks to unload. Well, a quieter round this than the previous one. There's no way they could have maintained that pace. McDonnell's bleeding from the nose again, but happily that is the only extent of his injuries as he catches another left. He doesn't want to drop his guard. He gives me heart failure when he does that. That's asking for trouble.
He's just got to keep jabbing. Jimmy's got to keep jabbing. Caught him with a nice shot then. Azumah Nelson is just waiting for the big shot to come through to open him up.
He's totally unconcerned, isn't he, about anything McDonnell throws at him.
He's not bothered at all. It's as if they're not hurting him. They're just walking through anything or everything.
Well, we said this man from Ghana was a great champion, and if you doubted me, what you've seen so far will show you that he is. End of round 6. Well, Nelson scarcely threw a punch that round. I'm going to give that round to Jim McDonnell. He was poking out the jab, and shades really of the Mario Martinez fight when Nelson failed to finish it quickly. He had a wee breather for a couple of rounds. Now, I know Nelson's taken a lot of those shots from McDonnell on his gloves, Jim, but one or two of them are getting through, and McDonnell's making him miss once or twice as well.
Oh, he's making him miss all the time, really. I mean, of course he's catching him, but he's making him miss, which is the right thing, and then he's countering. And I shade him that round because of the shots what went through. Fast shots, only jabs, but they count as points.
Well, halfway stage, round 7, and those who said that Jim McDonnell would be back in the dressing room already by this time must hold up their hands and admit they were wrong, because this is the gutsiest world title challenge that we have seen in a British ring for quite some time. He was given no chance. Now we have to say that maybe there is just a glimmer that Jim McDonnell might possibly pull off an upset, but there's an awful long way to go yet, so let us keep quiet on that score for the time being. Left gets through again. McDonnell does not want to be caught in a corner or on the ropes. Referee Cortez breaks them up. It's been a good, clean fight so far. The ref, almost incidental. The right clips McDonnell, forces him to hold momentarily.
You've got to start the jabbing again, get the jabbing going and start moving. Azumah's just pressuring him now. Oh, that's it, he's letting a few go now. Oh.
And suddenly Nelson goes to war again. He changes tactics just a little bit from the wraparound defense style, unleashing these big left bombs. See the way he's fighting. Hands across his body. And suddenly McDonnell looks a little bit fragile again. And forced to hold.
You've got to hold on, just hold on there for a while.
We're right in Nelson's corner. Jose Martinez, the chief corner man, urging his fighter forward. McDonnell shaken again. Nelson's round.
Nelson, I give him that round.
Well, there's Jim McDonnell's wife. Harrowing moments for her, I'm sure. It's very, very difficult. Interesting change of tactics Azumah Nelson adopting here, Harold.
Yes, he did.
The fold-over style.
But yeah, crossing his arms over his body so he can't get through. And he didn't, resisting on his elbows and arms again. And then he suddenly came out with a left hook and a right hook. Which...
So, how do you unlock that sort of defensive style if somebody's fighting with their arms crossed in front of them?
Well, what it is, the reason he's doing that is because I don't think he's hurting him that much. And so he's walking in with that defence and trying to attack at the same time, which it is working for him as well.
So what does Jim McDonnell do? How does he counter that?
All he's got to do is he's got to keep moving and jabbing, that's all. Because he's going to get all the pressure he needs. Definitely, here he goes.
Well, Nelson once again fighting with that style again. And that's given McDonnell something to think about. Well, I guess it shows the respect that Nelson has been forced to adopt for his opponent now. Wild misses. Well, Jim McDonnell is certainly making Nelson work. Don't forget the Ghanaian 31. And if there is any question mark at all about his stamina, this will be the fight in which the questions are answered one way or another. No doubts at all about McDonnell's stamina, that we know.
Doing right though, he's moving, jabbing. At the moment, no, tied up, but he's doing the right things on the jab. So he hasn't got to get too much involved in it, and that type of play anyway.
Of course, we mustn't forget that two of the judges are American, and they place great store on aggression. American judges aren't too impressed by brilliant defensive skills. They like to see a man coming forward, rather like Azumah Nelson is doing. Swiss judge Franz Marti, well, he'll be impressed by what he's seeing from McDonnell, of that I have no doubt. The left lands again, and once again a moment of danger for the challenger, but he overcomes. Oh, the left lands again, and all of a sudden McDonnell is hurt but fights back, and you can see his head jerking back, McDonnell's head that is, as Nelson gets those left hands through. That's the danger weapon, that's the one he's got to watch.
I must admit, Jim's got a heart as big as a bucket, definitely. He's still fighting, boxing, moving away. He gets caught and he fights back.
I've still got Azumah Nelson a round ahead, but if Jim McDonnell stays on his feet, he has got to be in with a chance. That was unbalanced. Nelson once again coming out like the leopard in those leopard skin trunks of his. Swift start by the Ghanaian champion. Unsettled McDonnell just a little bit. Hasn't regained his rhythm. And Nelson perhaps sensing this might be the moment to go for the big finish. He's got to be wondering, Harold, Azumah Nelson, exactly what he's got to do to repeat that knockdown, because he's catching him with some good shots.
He is wondering, definitely. I mean, you can tell by the start he's changed his tactic to try to get in more. So he must be worrying how to get in and try to stop him or put him down at least again. But Jim's fighting back again.
Stinging right hook to the body, McDonnell got him then. He's having to take some shots in return. Don't hold, says referee Cortez, to the scorn of the crowd. But he's refereeing this fight well. He's letting them get on with it and not interrupting unnecessarily. You can see some blood on McDonnell's forehead. Don't worry about that. That's come from the nose. And a left hand to Nelson's jaw goes unanswered. The head's cracking. And Nelson forced to back up and forced to miss.
Jim McDonnell looks a bit unsteady actually now. He's fighting again, his heart is big. Just holds on for a breather now.
But he is making the champion back up. He's caught. Oh, these are desperate moments. Inside the last 10. Oh, and that was a perfect right from Nelson. And McDonnell wobbles but does not go down and comes back as the round ends. McDonnell. Oh boy,
is a very weary opponent now. He's very weary. His legs look gone, but he's still fighting back.
Well, Nelson, right at the end, caught him with a thunderous right hand. Boy, that was one desperate round. I guess that once again you could make out a case either way. I'm inclined to give that round to McDonnell. Instinct tells me that. He was getting through, and, well, the champion looking serene above us, Harold, but maybe just a touch of anxiety in the champ's corner.
Yeah, there's a bit of anxiety there, definitely, because he can't finish it off when usually would have finished him off in that situation.
Well, we saw McDonnell in the break, looking pretty composed, but he was hurt, he was rocked. And perhaps a suspicion that there is not quite the bounce there was in the legs in the early rounds. And perhaps Nelson senses this and moves in again. Well, believe me when I tell you that having seen Nelson's last defense against Martinez, this is by far the harder fight, but once again McDonnell is looking just a little fragile, a little ragged around the edges. The nose is bleeding, forcing his mouth open to breathe. But he will not be denied Azumah Nelson. McDonnell backs him into a neutral corner, the champ ducks, makes him miss. This is bravery of the highest order. McDonnell tees off. The head's so close. Well, this round could be fought in a phone booth. Cortez looks on. Nelson can't get out of that corner. And now he does, but McDonnell backs him in. Good round this for McDonnell.
Very good round.
He's so dangerous, as we keep on telling you, Azumah Nelson. Well, McDonnell, despite his tiredness, is giving a performance of his life, and he takes that round most conclusively. That's McDonnell's best round so far, Harold.
That is the best round, and I dare say an even round or Nelson. No, McDonnell.
Yeah, I've got to give that round to Jim. And, well, there's 2 rounds to go. Do you think perhaps we're on the verge of an upset?
I don't think we're on the verge of an upset at all. I think if it goes the distance, it's go to Nelson. But the thing about it, it's a go the full distance, which everybody expected it to be finished within 4 or 5 rounds. He's giving everything, and he's coming back well on this.
Well, McDonnell said if Nelson did beat him, McDonnell that is, would be the best loser that Nelson had ever faced. He's got 2 rounds to go. 2 rounds to pull off one of the boxing upsets of the decade if he can overcome Azumah Nelson.
Jim McDonnell's eyes seem to be closing up now, though.
Yes. Nelson's corner yelling, "Work, Azumah, work!" They're a little agitated in that corner. And once again, McDonnell's sheer strength and willpower keeping Nelson on the ropes. Trying to dig in that right uppercut. The champ unmarked. There's an ugly swelling on McDonnell's right cheek, but I don't think that is going to prove too big a handicap. And the right eye almost closed now. That's come up very quickly. Just in a few seconds that came up, and the right eye of McDonnell is almost closed. It is closed now. You can see that. Now that is bad. That is bad. Well, the ringside doctor having a look at it. This would be tragic. You can see how bad it is. This is a title fight. We box on. McDonnell's features twisted now into a parody of what they were at the start of this fight. But he will not be able to see the left hand. Well, if he's going to go down, he's going down with all guns blazing, Jim McDonnell. Nelson's round. Now, time for some feverish work in the McDonnell corner. This is the McDonnell corner. Well, what a tragedy for Jim. That should have happened so quickly, Harold.
It's a horrible swelling there. His eye is completely closed. Now, usually, if it wasn't a title fight, they would stop it. I mean, it's not 100% in. The vision is not there, so it could be in some danger. And the referee's decision should be to stop it, really.
Well,
but
this is a world title fight, and I'm sure they'll let him go the last 3. So the last 3 minutes of what has been an absolutely magnificent world title fight, one of the best it has been my privilege ever to see. The swelling, they've got it down with a cold bag. Now, it could all hinge on this. I've got it very close. It could all hinge on this last round, but I tell you this, Nelson won his last world title defense in the 12th and final round with a knockout. The eyes closed again. No, that was a slip. No count, that was a slip. Oh, Nelson's got him with a right, but they're very tired. McDonnell hanging on grimly, trying to survive, but fighting half blind now. And Nelson cannot put him away. McDonnell so tired, caught with a right and another right and forced to cover up. McDonnell thrown to the canvas. No, he beats the count, he's up at 9. And down again, and that's it. For the second title fight running, Azumah Nelson wins in the 12th and final round.
The referee could have stopped it just slightly before the last time he went down. He could have stopped it there. He got up at 9, he went to the 10, and it would have been safer to stop it then, for the good boxer's sake, that is.
Well, Jim McDonnell did not deserve to end his world title challenge like this. He has lost, but he's lost with glory. But what do you say about Azumah Nelson? Second fight running, he wins in the 12th.
Good champion, well, very good champion. This is 15th victory as a champion. Jim, though, is getting up, so great stuff. Getting up, he's all right.
Well, McDonnell makes his way shakily to his corner, but thank heavens for that. So the pundits were proved, well, I guess you can say they were proved right and wrong. They were proved right in that Azumah Nelson would retain his title, but wrong
of the 12th round by a count out. Azumah Nelson retains his title.
So Azumah Nelson's 13th world title fight, his 12th win.
Another night of triumph for Azumah Nelson, and despite that valiant effort, Jim McDonnell would never realise his dream of becoming a world champion.